Good morning, guys. So in keeping with my tradition of waking up and doing a video, we're going to talk about basic kicks. Actually just one, the front snap kick. One thing I had in my mind was thinking about kicking a soccer ball, right? So have you guys ever seen someone, or even like punting a football or kicking a football? Usually they kind of swing back, they swing through, right? Or you're going here, you're swinging through. Now a lot of times when that happens, they kind of hinge at the hip, so they start bending in like that, right? Instead of doing that, imagine you're gonna take a step forward after you kick. So you're gonna go here, and then you're actually gonna kind of run, right? And in doing so, it kind of forces your hips forward when you throw your kick. And the reason why I'm kind of emphasizing this type of swing is you're generating the momentum for it way back here, kind of over exaggerating that. So you're going here, you're coming through. But now once you start making that a little more compact, like a front snap kick or a front thrust kick, it kind of makes sense, because then your leg, in your mind, your leg's like back here, but realistically it's already kind of locked and loaded. But you're still using that same mechanic of pushing your hip through, the same mechanic as kicking a ball, right? Kick, you go through. But if I go from here, I'm kind of like kicking the ball with my knee driving up here and going down. So, and notice how once I get to this, my hips driving my knee, I throw that knee up, I throw my hips forward, and I take that front step here. That kind of helps put your entire body into that kinetic chain, right? Like we were talking about in the last video. So we're again here, kind of pushing off of the ground, kind of like I'm about to throw a kick, a soccer kick, right? Right, it should feel kind of the same thing kind of happens, because same thing with like a baseball bat swing, right? You're swinging here, boom. Everything's pulled back, over exaggerated, but the same thing happens when you throw that punch. Everything's kind of locked back. You throw that punch, right? So swinging through, striking through, and my whole body's kind of driving that motion forward, so you can continue your forward momentum, right? If you do want to pop back, just keep in mind it takes kind of a lot of core strength to kind of swing and then come back. You never see golf swingers, right? They never, I never swung golf. They don't just stop here and then put it right back. They just kind of let the follow through happen, right? So that kind of happens in combat too, where you don't really strike and then pop back. You kind of want to strike and come in and kind of follow that momentum forward, right? So if I'm throwing like a hammer fist, boom, boom, so everything's kind of like pulling me forward into my opponent. That's very different than like a point sparring situation where you're going tagging back. That takes more precision, but you're not going to finish the fight that way, generally speaking, right? Of course, there's always caveats to everything, but just one thing about this video is, imagine you're kicking a ball. Even like a roundhouse kick, you're kind of kicking a ball sideways, till finally you kind of pull your hip through, right? So, same thing here. Hips goes forward. My heel kind of flares out, because that aligns my hip towards the direction. If my heel stays pointed down, notice how the trajectory of my foot kind of points to the side too. But if I flare my heel out, it's gonna go straight, right? So adding all that together, boom, just like kicking a ball.